Hey guys, happy Monday. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Tina von Sachs. I'm a certified sobriety and transformation coach. I help people expand their consciousness, and I also help people transform their destructive habits, mainly women right now. So today, actually last week, I wanted to touch on, last week real quick, I talked about the hero's journey. I don't know who watched the video, but if you have any questions about that, let me know. It's basically about the circle of transformation we all go through, and to understand that it's normal that there's setbacks, that it is not a linear journey. It's really not a straight line. It's more up, down, all the way around. I mean, if I think back about my journey with drinking, and oh my goodness, how I for years try to moderate, or only drink certain types, or only drink like once a week, or only blah blah blah. I went on and on and on, and you know, there were months where I was doing really really good, and then there were months where I was doing horrible, where I was really at the bottom. But then each time I learned from it, and I went a little step forward, and then maybe I took 5 steps back, but then I went maybe 6 steps forward. So just understand that it's a journey, right? And don't beat yourself up over it. So today I would like to talk a little bit about attachments, and let me read you the definition of an attachment. Attachment is a strong, uncontrollable desire that causes suffering because it steals away our inner peace, serenity, and freedom. By being a slave to desire, we become complicated, disturbed, frustrated, and angry, which in return causes even more suffering. So that's why people say, or that's why the saying is, attachment causes suffering. We are or have been attached, or I have been attached to alcohol. I also happen to have an attachment to gambling. I live in Las Vegas. Not that that's an excuse, but that's an attachment. You can be attached to a person, to a situation, to a job, to money, to anything, really. But as long as we have an attachment of some kind, it produces suffering, because in a way, if we're attached to something, we want something, and by wanting it, it has power over us. So we know, I'm a little sick, so it's kind of hard to, I have some medication in my brain right now, but I wanted to get back to the energy, and that we are all energetic beings, right? So every thought we think creates an energetic output, and how we think is how we act and how we feel. Now think about it. If you have an attachment to something, then you think about it, you know, you are not free. In a way, you think about it, it makes you act a certain way, it makes you feel a certain way. Let's take the attachment to alcohol, for example. For me, you know, when I think about it, having an attachment to it, I'm like, oh, it would be so nice now. The kids are driving me crazy. It would be so nice to have a glass of wine. Or I see my friends partying. I'm like, oh, I want to be part of it. It would be so nice to just be having a drink or two and, you know, fit in. Any stories. You can be on a vacation, and you know, you have an attachment to how it's been in the past while you were on vacation and you had your drinks. So an attachment is always something that keeps us trapped, because we repeat the same thinking, acting, and feeling patterns as long as we have that attachment to that thing. I hope it makes sense. So in a way, you keep it alive, you know, and the key to this is becoming aware that you have this attachment, and then the more you become aware of it, the more you can let go of it. Letting go of an attachment is simply a choice, nothing more than that. When I speak about alcohol, you know, it is a very addictive substance. However, when we stop drinking, the alcohol leaves our systems in about 10 to 12 days at the most. Anything after that, for 90% of heavy drinkers, is an emotional attachment to the substance. You're not physically addicted to it. There's a very small percentage that's physically addicted. They need to go to a hospital to detox. You know, they need to be supervised, because otherwise the detoxification process can be fatal. But for most of us, drinkers, gray area drinkers, problem drinkers, excessive drinkers, binge drinkers, whatever you want to call it, or anything that you have an attachment to that's excessive and it's hurting you and has power over you, it's an emotional attachment. So you have a choice to let it go. But why is it so hard to let it go? Because we're scared. Because the meaning we give that thing keeps us trapped. So it can be the meaning of, alcohol has always been my friend, or if it's about a partner or a friend, it's like, oh my gosh, I need this person to feel complete. I need this person to feel safe, to feel loved. So when we let go of that thing, that gives us some form of some relief, it's scary. It's scary. We step into the unknown. We might have to let go of friends. We might have to let go of people. We might have to let go of other things, and belief systems that are attached to that thing. So especially when it comes to alcohol, again, our whole belief system around what it does for us, we need to let go of. And that's scary, very scary. So our subconscious programming keeps us trapped because of the stories we're telling ourselves. Do you see what I mean? It's this vicious cycle. So the way to let go, and there's just a 3-step process that I'm getting to in a second, is really to, first of all, I wanted to say this, letting go is a choice from a level of understanding that attachment is keeping you trapped. So that's something I think it's so important, because once that clicks with you, you can really make that choice. So letting go is a choice from a level of understanding that attachment is keeping you trapped. So what you can do is, step 1, become aware when you're attached, and realize that you're just attached because it feels safe and familiar. That's why we keep going back to, I know some of us, we get stressed, and we go back to that thing because we get that feeling of relaxation and just that feeling of, okay, this is what I know, this is what it does for me. It's safe, it's familiar, it's comfortable. So become aware of that, and don't beat yourself up over it, that you keep going back to the same patterns. Just become aware of it. And then next time when you realize that you have this attachment still, and how are the stories that you're telling yourself and the meaning that you give that attachment are keeping you trapped, tell yourself, but the growth is in the unknown. Everything is in the unknown. The unknown is uncomfortable. And yes, maybe you let go of old friendships that are toxic and no longer serving you. Maybe you have to let go of this old job that drives you crazy. Or maybe you have to have a really serious talk with your partner. But that's where the beauty is. That's where the growth lies. And we have this feeling of being alone and not loved. But you cannot grow if you keep holding on to the same old patterns. You just keep repeating. So it needs the conscious decision for you to say, okay, this is it. I'm letting go of my attachment to that substance, to that thing. And I'm accepting that for a while, this will be really uncomfortable. For a while, I might lose my identity. For a while, I might lose the people I'm used to. For a while, I might not know where this leads me, but it's okay, because staying the same is more painful than going through that change. So challenge your identity, the way you see yourself, challenge the stories you're telling yourself about the attachments. Challenge your old identity. It's not serving you any longer. And with that, eventually, and journaling helps with that, meditation, always repeat the same steps, but that's what it is. It's journaling, it's meditation, it's setting a clear intention of who you want to become, and then acting as if you are already that person. And remember, any type of attachment that you have to anything, but for the sake of, what we're doing in these groups or in the group here is alcohol, question it. Nothing in life has meaning other than the meaning you give it. So what meaning are you giving alcohol? What's your attachment there? What are the stories you're telling yourself around that substance? And then let it go and be okay with being scared and stepping out of this automatic autopilot, because otherwise it's so hard to change. All right, I hope that makes sense. I totally forgot. I don't even know if I introduced myself, but anyway, I'm the founder of the Sober Month Experiment. I have monthly groups, not September, but October. I pick one back up where, we are a small group of people, and we commit to a whole month of detaching ourselves and really examining our belief systems around drinking, around alcohol. It's not an absolutism program. It's not affiliated with AA. It's really about education. And by the way, AA is amazing. I'm not mocking it. It's just wasn't for me. But it's about education. It's about understanding more of us. And the only way you can understand yourself better is by getting rid of something that numbs your brain. So that's the idea behind it. This is why we stop. We stop to drink, we stop numbing, so we can have the clarity to understand our belief systems. We have the clarity to look at our attachments and then work on letting those go. And then, after that month, you can decide for yourself. Do you want to keep going? How amazing are you feeling? Do you want to go back to your old self? Hopefully not. But it's just a way to kickstart your growth, basically, and it's more about detoxing your brain than anything else. So hook me up if you have any questions. Best way to get a hold of me is info@tinavonsachs.com. I also have the link to my website, or the address to my website. Also have a YouTube channel where I post videos every week. I'm going to try to do it twice a week, not so much about alcohol. One alcohol and one is more personal development, because I really believe that it's so much more than just stopping drinking. Stopping drinking is super important for you to gain the clarity to start working on the identity that you like to create for yourself. All right, that was it for me today, guys. Happy Monday. Excuse my little brain fogs here and there. Fighting a cold, but it's getting better. All right, have a great week. Bye.